stuff I don't like about Christians. Okay, so I'm talking about the Christians who don't actually support same-sex marriage. They're really crazy ones. I do have friends out there who don't support same-sex marriage, but they act mature. They don't act like, oh, all gay people are rapists. They're violent and they're rapists. Because really, Christians have raped before. In fact, there has been one story in Indiana of a pastor who actually raped a 16-year-old girl because God told him to. Yes, that is a real story. In fact, there is a video of him stroking a rod. Or an arrow. Rod. But still. I've actually been called a rapist before just because of the fact that I'm gay. I'm not even joking. I'm 16 years old, and yet you're calling me a rapist? Really, I bet you have fetishes about me. And really, that's why you come to my videos just to comment on them and say that I want to rape you. Because really, you're probably ugly in real life. And really, who would want to rape an annoying person? Who would even want to have sex with an annoying person? Yes, who would want to do anything with an annoying person like you? So, really, this is really why I can't really respect religion very well. And another thing they do is they listen to Christian research. Not scientific research. No, no, no. They don't believe in scientific research. You give them scientific research? Nope. We don't believe in that. Religious research? Yep, we believe in that because we agree with it. Like, okay, there are religious research saying that gay people are violent, they're rapists, they do drugs, and really, that's the problem with Christians. They like to start stereotypes. Really, I just wanted to point out these myths, and they're not true. Most science groups has pretty much every science group scientist that has studied on sexual orientation has actually said that being gay should not be seen as a mental disorder, which I do find it offensive when people say that being gay should be seen as a mental disorder, because in case if you don't know, I do have Asperger's syndrome, and really, that's kind of like saying that people with mental disorders should be seen as second-class citizens and should not have rights or anything like that. That's kind of what it's like saying. Like, people with mental disorders should not have rights. And really, that's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like you're saying. And really, I will find that very offensive when people say that it is a mental disorder. Because really, I'll bring in my... It'll bring up my Asperger's. And really, it kind of feels like that. just because someone has a mental disorder, that automatically means they're a bad person? Is that what you're saying? I'm not saying gay people do have mental disorders, because they don't. But they are born gay. That is scientific evidence. There is also another myth out there that gay people have a lot of sex. More sex than straight people. But really, that's true, but not true. Okay, what I'm saying is, one part is like, it depends. Really, all of it depends on what the relationship is like. And really, sexual orientation does not matter. Really, people can have as much sex as they want. And really, does it really matter? Does it hurt anyone? And yet Christians act like it does hurt them for some reason. I never really got that, but for some reason they do think that these myths are true. And I don't know why they think this, but they just do. And really, I've seen a lot of Christians get information from Christian websites, and when you tell them about scientific research, real facts, real research, they don't believe you, which is actually the problem. But they'll believe Christians just because they agree with them. They'll believe anything Christians tell them, but they won't believe anything science tells them. Okay, there are some Christians who do believe in science, but really, they're not. Stereotypically, Christians are not very big on science. Ever since science has been getting bigger and bigger and more progressed, less and less people have been starting to become religious and starting to become atheists, because science proves evolution, science proves the Big Bang, science proves anything that the Bible does not say. Science has proved a lot of things. And really, you want to argue. You want to say that we have a lot of sex. Really, some of the things Christians say, if they were my kids, I would slap them. I'm not even joking. I would seriously slap the living. I would literally slap their soul right out of them, probably. And you want to call me evil? Dude, really? Why you call me evil? Okay? Why? Explain why are gay people evil? Because really, I've heard stories of gay people, not gay people, but I've heard stories of Christians killing people. I've heard stories of Christians raping people. I've heard stories of Christians cheating on each other, committing adultery. And then yet they want to complain that gay people are the real cause of the problem. They don't want to blame the government. They don't want to blame the fact that our government doesn't really listen to our Constitution very well. And really, people, they have a constitutional right. They have the 14th Amendment right to get married. They have the 14th Amendment right to do anything straight people can. And really, it's, it's not anything bad. Really, people complain about change. People complain when something changes. Really, if you work for a marriage license branch and you refuse to give a gay couple a marriage license, then how about you just quit your job? Because really, your job, your problem, alright? It's your job. You need to do your job. Your job. Your problem. You could quit your job. But why don't you quit? Why don't you? It's best for you to quit. You know? It's best for you to quit. And yet you still want your job? You've been married like 4 times. And divorced 3 times. And yet you think that you have the real definition of marriage. You think that you have the biblical definition of marriage, even though divorce is a sin. And I've read the New Testament, and the New Testament even tells you that divorcing and then marrying again is considered adultery. And adultery is in the 10 Commandments. And yet, you Christians, you don't want to talk about adultery. You want to talk about LGBT rights more. You want to talk about how gay people should not have rights, and yet adultery is on the top 10 list of what not to do.